It's lovely to see so many faces on here. Thank you all so much for jumping on. I, first of all, would like to introduce myself to those who don't know me before I introduce Scott. I was introduced to Isagenix by my friend Sarah, who I can see in the panel up there, waving, when Isagenix launched in the UK in May 2017. I didn't feel as if I really needed to lose any weight. And the nugget for me getting involved actually was when Sarah told me about the benefits of increased and improved nutrition to helping with optimum health. And that was everything from good sleep, good energy, lower cortisol levels. And I hadn't really thought that one through. You know, good health, optimal health comes from 80% nutrition and only 20% exercise. And I think I had that stat literally the wrong way around my entire life. So I took it on board to really help overcome sleep issues, which it did very quickly. I lost about 3 kilos, which I wasn't expecting. And that came from no amount of exercise having sorted out. And friends started asking what was going on. And I think the catalyst for me getting involved in the business model was when I got made redundant in September. And the rest, as they say, is history. So I've been loving helping other people with their transformations. I found myself very luckily in Scott's downline, and I think when he noticed I started to do quite well, he's been a phenomenal support to me ever since. So I'm going to introduce Scott in just a second, but first I'm just going to manage expectations. It's now just after 4:30. I'm hoping that our Q&A will probably last about half an hour. So I appreciate if people have to scoot off after that. I will record it. And then after that half an hour, we'll open it up to Q&A to the panel. If people have any questions that get prompted from our dialogue, feel free to write them in the chat bar. And then I will look at that as we go along. So by way of introducing our phenomenal Scott Wood, who is still quite jet lagged from his trip over from Australia, just to give him a little bio for people who don't know him. He's the loving husband and father of 6 beautiful children, a lover of the ocean, and was a competitive surfer as a teenager. He recovered from a very serious car accident at the age of 19, where he broke his neck and back and was told that he would actually never do anything physical again. And it was that really created his passion for health and fitness. And in fact, today he is completely built up his athletic stature and is a master CrossFit athlete. And in fact, he was telling me earlier, he's competing tomorrow, can you believe? He has over 20 years business and leadership experience, quit his finance career in corporate life in 2013 to then focus on his passion for health and fitness. And at that point, he went full-time with Isagenix. He achieved Crystal Executive after only 3 months of joining, which definitely sets a high bar for all of us. He's created 10 executives, of which I am one of them, and became Platinum, which means he actually maxed out in 20 months. So yeah, I've got a lot of catching up to do there. He achieved ISA millionaire status in 28 months and now has a global organization, of which most of us probably on this call are a part of 42,000 people underneath him. So Scott, a huge welcome and thank you so much for giving up your time and jumping on the call today.
Oh, thank you, Deb. Thank you.
That is my pleasure. So I'm just going to ask question number 1. Can you tell us your story and just tell us how you got introduced and how you got going?
Yeah, okay. So it was, wow, it's coming up to 7 years. It would be 7 years in August when I was first told about Isagenix, and I used to be a financial advisor. I was working really crazy hours running my own office in Brisbane in Australia, and I was leaving the house most mornings 6:30 a.m., getting home 7 to 8 p.m. at night, and just burning the candle both ends. I was really a health conscious person, and like since I broke my neck when I was a lot younger, I've always been into health and fitness and keeping my body strong and healthy. And you come to my house and open the fridge door and you just see green vegetables, just all healthy food. So I've always been a health nut, but it got to a point in my adult life where I think I was the unhealthiest I'd ever been in terms of my energy. I was just stressed, lots of financial pressures, global financial crisis at the time was still sort of hanging around. And my business, while it was a successful business, it was really struggling because of the global financial crisis, and all of my clients were paying me performance fees. So they were paying me a percentage of all the returns on their investments. So I was managing people's money, and everything, the whole, like, financial markets were going sideways, and I was building a house at the time and the building company collapsed, and all these things were going wrong, and all these pressures, stresses were happening. And I just found myself like really overwhelmed and not sleeping, just totally burnt out. And then a good friend that was a client of mine and also a school friend told me about Isogenics, reached out, and initially I was a massive skeptic. I was like arms crossed, like, oh, I don't do those shake things. I'm not into that sort of thing. But I didn't know what it was. And then I told him that I was healthy. I had good nutrition. I was eating really well. But he sort of kept touching base with me like several times over a couple of weeks. And then he got his wife to speak to me, Jen, who was a friend at the time. She was a client as well. And she's a physiotherapist. And she just said to me, Scotty, is what you're doing working for you right now? And I just said, well, no, I feel really, really terrible. Like, just no energy and not sleeping. So I decided to get over myself and give it a go. And then, like many people are the same, they're skeptical at first. But I was really blown away by just how fast it started working. So within a few days, it was like someone reaching down and just flicking something on inside me. And I just felt like I was back. I felt my energy was back. And over the first 30 days, I had this incredible transformation with my energy. The energy was the big thing. I felt like I'd wound the clock back, and I felt like the old me was back again. And I lost some body fat. I lost around 6 kilograms of body fat and gained a couple of kilograms of muscle. And that was without changing my exercise regime. So, and then people started noticing me, like people in the gym were noticing, friends were noticing, and they just wanted to know what I was doing. So I sort of started sharing, and I got a few people started early on, and they were all having great results as well. And then after 90 days, I was a different person. Like, you can see my before and after photos from day 1 to day 90. My 12 weeks was just incredible. And more people were noticing, and I started sharing more and more. And in the third month, I'd earned all this money. Like, I went crystal executive, like you said, Deb, and I think I'd earned just under $6,000 Australian. So about 3,000 quid for the month, with all those bonuses that came through for going crystal executive and 1 star. And I just thought to myself, oh my goodness, like I help people create cash flow and help them with investments for a living. And I've never seen anything that can generate cash flow like that. And for that sort of cash flow in property or shares, you need like $1 million invested. And I just thought, wow, like, what if I actually put some focus into this and treated it more like a business? What could I achieve in 12 months? And so put my head down, set a goal. And it was after 13 months of just really focusing, helping people, enrolling people, helping them share Isogenics. And it got to a point where I was able just to walk away from that stress hole that I was in, that cubicle, that office, 14-hour-a-day office, and pick my son up from school. And it was just a magical day. That was September 2013 when I walked away from a 15-year finance career to do the Isogenics full time.
Wow.
And so that was a huge moment in my life, one of the most special days of my life. And so that was now nearly 6 years ago. And sort of fast forward to today, I've been doing Isogenics as a full-time business for 6 years now, and still helping people every day, still talking to people. I've been talking to 2 people today that I've met just out and about in the pool at the gym this morning, got their details. So I'm still so excited every day about doing just the normal Isogenics things, like talking to people, enrolling people. But yeah, like you said, it's so over the nearly 7 years, I've enrolled around 300 people, 350 close to. But through them having great results and them sharing with their friends and their friends sharing and having great results, and that ripple effect, yeah, it's grown into over 43,000 people all over the globe. And that's what brings me here to the UK because I've got customers and team members here in the UK. And so coming over to catch up with everyone and celebrate the year and it's pretty exciting.
Fantastic. Well, we're very excited to have you over here and looking forward to getting up to Birmingham tomorrow and seeing you in person for our little drinks gathering. You've done phenomenally well and such an inspiration to hear your story. Whilst we're on the business side of things, can I just sort of touch on how you managed to be such a successful enroller? Any top tips?
Well, I was never the most successful enroller. I think, Debbie, I talk about you all the time because you're consistently always like one of the top enrollers out there, and that's a real skill. Like, you're just a natural at that. I always had a goal of one
you
a
have
week.
Builders, that's the difference.
One a week was the goal for me, so and I've always consistently achieved that. So 5 a month, and I think the most I've ever done in a month was like 11, but consistently 5 a week. And look, I've always been consistent. While there's been times over the years where or maybe I've been distracted or things have happened in life that have taken my focus away from building the Isagenix team and business, I've always stayed consistent, and consistency is the absolute key to my personal success, I believe. This sort of business, you can't sort of be the sort of person that go for a few months and then take a break and then make a comeback. And I continuously see that happen where people will do a big burst and then do nothing for a few months and then try and make a comeback. That strategy doesn't work. Like from my experience, it just takes consistency. And as you're working with new team members and building a team, it's important that your team see you showing up and being there consistently. And the team members will follow suit as to whatever you're doing as a leader as well.
Yeah, duplication. How do you manage to keep a positive mindset when you do get rejection? Because God knows we all have to toughen up in this industry.
Oh, I did the David Wood program, the University in Action, and for anyone that hasn't done that, that was the big event for me in September 2012. That just gave me the belief that I could actually do this. But I think. Yeah, look, it's you just have to, so doing that exercise with Dave, I've had about 3,500 no's in my Isagenix career to have those 300 yeses. So it's a lot, but when someone says no to me, I have the belief that they're just saying not now.
Yeah.
I don't take it personal, and I hold a space for them that maybe one day they'll be ready. And if I just keep that contact with them, not being pushy or in their face at all, but just keeping that contact with them and holding the space for them, then there'll become a time when they might just reach out and go, "Hey, Scotty, you're still doing that thing."
Yeah, absolutely.
And that happens all the time.
It really does. I've noticed that. I've only been going, 20 months now, but so many people, again, it's that consistency of posting and letting people know what you're doing. And then something you'll say, they'll go, "Oh, you've got my attention now. Tell me more about it." And I've had quite a few that said no, that have started to come back. And I think hopefully that pattern will continue as time goes by.
Yeah, and it's something that I don't take personally. Look, there has been a few times when there's been people that I really cared about that have said no, and it's really sort of cut deep. But it's that's just natural to feel that way. But just holding the space and having that love for them, that, okay, you respect their no, but you're there. You're there if they ever want to do it. So.
And I think the frustration, I have to say, I've had phenomenal support from my mother's on the call, actually. I've had some great support from most of my family who are on it, but a few skeptics, and it is the close friends that make the comments. And initially, I remember my first event in Birmingham, I was in tears when somebody said something horrible to me, going, "Oh, what's this pyramid thing? I thought you were better than that." It's like, do you think I would get involved in something that was a scam, that wasn't authentic, and that, didn't have integrity? So, you definitely do toughen up to that, guys. So don't let that ever put you off. One question just that I get asked quite a lot is, what do you think sets our products aside? from others?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
You know.
Yeah, that's an awesome question. Well, the company's now, I suppose, got a new mantra. And Eric has brought this out recently. Eric Coover's brought this out recently about results that you can't get anywhere else. And it's so true that people get blown away by the results. After a few days of taking the products, they're feeling amazing, and they say, "Is this stuff actually working, or is it in my head?" But the system works, the products work, and people get results. I think that is what sets it apart. Is the results that people actually experience what we tell them they're going to experience. Yeah. And I think that really takes a lot of people by surprise. So I'd say 100% the results, Deb.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely right. And 42,000 people in your downline can't be wrong, can they? Whilst we've got, I have to say, my journey, initially it was very much weight loss people that were signing up, and that's where my comfort zone was, because I read about it and I knew about it and I listened to lots of podcasts. And as time has gone by and my knowledge has increased, I've now got a lot more customers that are doing it. You know, they don't actually need to lose any weight. They're doing it to maintain. But like you say, they're very quickly feeling the benefits of the nutrition, and it's speed. It's just convenience with a lot of my friends who run very busy lives. But I'm also learning more and more about the energy and performance side, which isn't, I'm not so confident. So I really want to take advantage of having you on the line, given all your experience with the energy and performance product. And they say abs are made in the kitchen and you can't out-train a bad diet. But, how do you use ISA when building muscle is one of your goals? Yeah,
so, well, for me personally, I've gained 17 kilograms of muscle, lean muscle, since day one. And that's been a gradual thing over 7 years. But I put on 2 kilograms of lean muscle in my first 30 days, doing the basic 30-day program, basic 30-day weight loss program. I put on 2 kilograms of lean muscle without changing my training. So I think from a number one point of view, people will gain lean muscle just by getting that nutrition into their body, the shakes into their body. Because most people are lacking enough protein or enough of those macronutrients like good healthy protein, good healthy fats, good healthy carbohydrates. Most people are usually overweight in something like overweight carbohydrate or overweight fat in their diet. So when you get the good protein, carb, and fat blend right, the body's going to respond. But in terms of like a focus for building lean muscle, I think that the isogenic system is all about helping people maintain or increase their lean muscle mass, but at the same time eliminating or reducing body fat and fluid retention. And it's all about improving body composition. So even people just without a goal of looking to put on lean muscle, they may put on lean muscle just doing a 30-day program. But for people that are really focused on gaining lean muscle, and the shakes, like the normal IsaLean shakes, the ISA Pro, are really fantastic to help people that are working out or training or looking to build lean muscle, because it really helps ensure that we're getting the correct amount of nutrition. So as a guide, and I go by Dr. Michael Colgan, so he's on the Isogenic Scientific Advisory Board, and he's like the world leading expert on proteins and nutrition for athletes. He's been around for decades, and he's an credible man. But he talks about how for athletes who are wanting to gain lean muscle, they need to be having around about 1.75 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. And just the shakes, by knowing how much is in the shakes, how much protein, and knowing that it's a really, really good quality protein that we're putting in our body, very bioavailable and very clean, the body's going to respond. So by having a couple of shakes a day and having 2 to 3 good, healthy, clean meals each day, the isogenic system really helps to make sure you're getting enough nutrients to build lean muscle and also to help the body recover.
Can I just ask one question? Something you said there. I know you've said this to me before, irrespective of whether they are a weight loss client or an energy and performance athlete, it's always advisable to encourage people to start on the 30-day system, 2 shakes a day, irrespective of what their goals are. And obviously, if it's weight loss, they do their 2 shakes as meal replacements. And if they're an athlete, they probably supplement them alongside
Yep.
their 3 meals.
Yep.
Do you stand by that? Do you think the 30-day program is what we should all get everybody going?
Oh, 100%, Debbie. Unless it's a really high level competitive athlete that's training 6-7 days a week, it's going to be difficult for them to do cleanse days or double cleanse days.
Okay.
So perhaps doing daily cleansing or even just 24-hour cleansing for those type of athletes works. But doing a full 30-day may not be suitable for that. But for 99% of people, absolutely the full 30-day is something that I recommend to everyone, for athletes, for people looking for weight loss, because we're all overloaded with impurities. So we're bombarded every day with all of the nasty stuff from the food we're eating, from the water we're drinking, from all of the cosmetics, from the air we're breathing. Our bodies can't handle all of the stuff that's coming in, and we can the liver and the kidneys can process so much, but what it can't process, it stores. The body will store. And so if we don't address that, there's going to be problems. So the system's all about helping to clean all that out, and that's where the cleansing is so great for everybody, and athletes included, because athletes, if anything, can have even more impurities in their body from being around environments and gyms and dust and plastics and also that a lot more heavy breathing going on. The body can be more toxic for athletes. So
I have heard that. You mentioned cleansing there, which is quite a nice lead, because my next question is how you incorporate cleansing into your system as an athlete. I know we all tailor the cleansing once we've done the 30 days. I did it quite religiously over the 30 days, did the full 36 hours sometime. Well, I did it once, 48. And now I adapt it and tend to do a sort of 3/4 day one and then eat with the family in the evening, which works for me. It doesn't work for everybody. But as an athlete, how do you incorporate cleansing?
So I love my cleanse days. I love cleansing. I do daily cleansing every day. So I'll have 1 scoop every morning when I wake up, and with my ionics. And then at the moment, I haven't done a cleanse day for just over a month, because it's a really taxing month this month, doing the CrossFit Open, which is week 5 this week, which is tomorrow. But as soon as it's done, I'll be cleansing. But generally, I'll do a cleanse day once every 2 to 3 weeks, and I'll do a full single day, and I love it. My body responds to it so well, and I find that times my body will tell me when I need to have a cleanse day. So I might get a little bit of sort of mucus or runny nose, or I'll wake up sneezing a few times, and I know that's okay. That's a sign I need to do a cleanse day. And sometimes I'll even do, if I'm training pretty hard, I'll just do a 24-hour cleanse. So rather than a full day, which you'll have your last shake, say on a Saturday night, cleanse all day Sunday, and then have a shake Monday morning, rather than doing that, which is 36 hours. I'll do a 24-hour. So I'll have my last shake. Let's say I'm doing the cleanse day on a Sunday. I'll have my last shake at, say, 5 p.m. on a Saturday, and then I'll have a cleanse that night, maybe 7:30. So shake at 5, cleanse at 7:30, and then I'll wake up Sunday morning. I'll cleanse in the morning, cleanse late morning, cleanse afternoon, and then I'll have a shake at 5. So it means exactly 24 hours. So a shake 5 p.m. Sunday, and then break it. A shake 5 p.m. Saturday, and then a shake 5 p.m. Sunday to break that 24-hour cleanse.
And you don't train on those days?
No, I don't train. And I
have a complete rest day.
Yeah, because the body's going through a process, and you don't have the fuel going in. So it's definitely advisable, from my experience anyway, to have a rest day.
I've got a question now about health professionals, because I personally have found them quite tricky to get over the line. It's always a great satisfaction when you do. But how do you deal with athletes that say, oh, I only like to eat real food? And actually that goes for regular members of the public as well as athletes, but the PTs.
Yeah. Well, I say, absolutely, so do I. And all the athletes and people that I work with eat real food. I think for people that are training seriously and looking to build lean muscle, we're usually eating 5 to 6 times a day. And so it can be really challenging to do all the meal prep for 5-6 healthy meals a day. Especially if you, and it's expensive as well. It's expensive to
Yeah.
eat that much food. And so what is really awesome about the shakes and our system is that we can take out 2 of those meals, have a shake maybe post-training, a shake for breakfast, and save all that time on meal preparation, but also make sure we're getting a really great nutrition on all the nutrition that we need, but we're still eating like 3 to 4 other good meals in the day anyway. And you'll find that most athletes are already having a shake or some sort of shake in their day. And so I always ask them the question, so what are you already having? Are you already having a shake? Are you already having some type of protein shake? And 99% will say, oh yeah, absolutely. And I'll put extra in and I'll do it. So they're already doing it and it's just replacing that. But it's, and we know that they're getting a full balanced meal. So one of the, I suppose, rejections or objections I've had in the past from athletes or fitness people is that, there's not a real high protein content in your shakes, and there's a bit of sugar in your shakes. And normally athletes are having a protein shake. They'll go to the nutrition shop and they'll try and buy the protein powder that has the most percentage, like 90-95% the whey protein isolate, because that's what we're taught. That's what we're taught. You know, you go and train, you've got to have a high protein shake. But Deb, if you were doing a workout, would you go straight home and have a big plate of steak and just eat a plate of steak alone?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you do that?
No.
No, it's not common sense. And so having just a big protein shake, it's just like having a plate of steak or having a plate of chicken and nothing else. You're going to go home and you're going to balance it out with some steak or some chicken breast or some fish and some vegetables and some healthy fats and some healthy carbohydrates. You're going to balance it out, aren't you? And that's the common sense thing. So with the isogenic shakes, no, it's not 100% protein. We've got 40% protein. We've got 30% carbohydrates, around 10% fat and fiber and minerals and digestive enzymes, probiotics, because it's a full meal. And so that's the difference. And a lot of the shakes that you'll buy in the nutrition shops, they won't have any sugar in them, but to sweeten them, they're sweetened with artificial sweeteners like sucralose and asfumulate, and they're really toxic in the body.
Yeah.
And so the way they keep the carbohydrates and the sugars down, the nutrition companies, is to add the artificial stuff in. But that's why we're doing cleansing, is to get that sort of stuff out of our body. So the good thing about the isogenic shakes is they're all natural, and you've got your perfect blend of macronutrients, which is your protein, fats, and carbohydrates. And that's what the body needs to refuel and to recover. The body doesn't need just protein. It needs a blend of all those things.
Sure. And also the athletes that are working out to a higher level and do get involved in protein pacing, which we won't talk about at that level on this call. But of course, we've got our ISA Pro powder, so we can change the ratio if that's what you need. So it's all there for you.
The ISA Pro is great. You can add half to a full scoop in your normal isoline shake. So one extra scoop of ISA Pro will bump your protein up from about 24 to 40 grams.
Yeah.
And then I like having the ISA Pro. I'll put it on my muesli, or if I'm making a porridge in the morning, I'll put some ISA Pro in with some nuts and a little bit of fat as well. So you've got your carbohydrates from the oats, the fat from the nuts, and the protein, which is that blend.
Yeah.
So the ISA Pro is one of my favorites. I've always got at least 2 in the cupboard.
Are you an advocate of the bedtime belly buster, which we talk about?
Yeah, I have it every night. I have it most nights. Yeah, absolutely. I love it because I find it helps me sleep better. But so the strategy there is that your body's going into fat burning mode for up to 6 hours. So when you consume whey protein concentrate like that's in our ISA Pro, the body starts to burn fat. Like the whey protein actually causes the body to go into fat burn. And then if you can be asleep, and preferably before the AM hours, and you have that bedtime belly buster, it promotes higher levels of human growth hormone as well. So, and that helps the body burn fat and build muscle as well. So it's all about helping your body burn fat while you're sleeping and build muscle.
I'm going to try that. I keep saying I'm going to try it, and then I get up to bed and I'm 3 floors from my kitchen and I go, oh, I forgot again. I'm definitely going to embrace that, because I hear so many great things about the bedtime belly buster.
That's the only reason why I don't have it some nights, is because I can't be bothered walking downstairs.
Just a couple more on athletes. I know we're on 5 o'clock now, so I just want to keep it quite concise. I've heard that isogenics can actually help a lot with inflammation, muscle recovery. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so when some of you may have heard of a guy called David Gilks. If you haven't heard of David Gilks, he's our upline. He's my upline. So he enrolled the couple, Jen and Jono, that enrolled me into isogenics, and he's based in Canada, and he's one of the most highly regarded fitness professionals in Canada and British Columbia. He's an amazing guy, but he talks a lot about how the isogenics products do all the work. So let me explain that. So when we're in the gym and let's say we're doing a squatting session and we're busting. Oh, sorry, it's David Gilks, Gilks. David
I don't
Gilks.
know him either. Sure.
When we're busting our legs, for example, doing a squatting session, and we're tearing away at the muscles, and so most people would think that is the key to building up those legs. It's the squats and it's the high intensity and those extra reps that's going to do everything to build up my legs. But that's a myth. That's just a small part of it. The thing that will help those muscles develop and grow is all about the nutrition. And it's having it at the right time as well. So the research shows that we've got a 1 hour window, or actually a half an hour window, to consume that nutrition after we've done that really high intense workout. This is called the nutrient timing, where the body is absolutely screaming out for nutrition for recovery. And if you can get that shake in within half an hour of your intense training, the benefit in recovery will increase by around 300%.
Wow.
So it's massive, but it's getting that nutrition in that does all the work to feed the cells and to feed the body to help it recover faster. And the faster that we can recover and get back and hit that session again and train at that high level, the faster our body will grow and respond to it. So the nutrition and the system is all designed to help speed recovery. And you talk to any athlete or anyone that does any form of training, when they start isogenics, the first thing they say is, wow, I noticed my recovery is so much faster. And that's because the body's getting the nutrition that it needs to recover faster. And that's what helps with athletic performance, is we can get back in and smash those training sessions harder because we've recovered, and then we can do it again and again, day in, day out, and that helps to build that performance and help build that lean muscle.
Absolutely. Better results all around. I think when I've got some more energy and performance clients on board, it'd be really interesting to do this again and talk more specifically about nutrient timing and protein pacing, because there's such a science behind it all, and it's fascinating. I love hearing all about it. And
it's all on Isogenics Health. If you go on to isogenicshealth.com, this is where I get all of my information from. And there's if you click on the menu tab, there's a whole section on nutrient timing.
Yeah, no, I've seen.
Yeah, and there's articles in there about the with all the research on the benefits of having that shake within half an hour of training. Yeah.
I don't think my level of training quite warrants it, but maybe one day.
No, it's any form of training. Like even if you're doing a yoga session, or if you're just going out walking, to have that shake within that half an hour window, it's going to help your body respond much better from the exercise.
Well, I'm learning an awful lot on this call. Thank you. Just to touch on the sugar, I know you mentioned it before, but we all get the sugar question. Oh, there's too much sugar in this. Oh, it's glucose, fructose. How do you overcome that when people criticize?
I love it when people say that, because that then gives me an opportunity just to educate them on it. So I spoke already before about how people that are training, hitting the gym, or athletes, generally we've been taught in the past to go buy a protein shake. Okay. And there's very little sugar in those shakes, because for some reason, our bodies don't need sugar, but that's a myth. Our bodies absolutely need sugar, and we do need a little bit of sugar in the shakes because that helps to deliver nutrition to the brain. The brain needs that. But the sugar content's low. There's only around 6 grams of sugar, and it's about as much as a medium-sized apple. And the fructose, I wish this could be written on the labels, but the fructose is derived from dehydrated beets, pears, and apples. Organic dehydrated beets, pears, and apples. So it's a vegetable and fruit fructose. So it's a really healthy fructose, and it's not a high amount. It's absolutely not.
No, and the other,
but the difference is because our shakes are a full meal. Okay, if you're going to sit down and have a meal with vegetables, or you're going to have some fruit and muesli, or there's going to be sugar in that. Our shakes are a meal, so there has to be some type of carbohydrate, some sugar in there for the body.
And ironically, the majority of people that I get asking are people that are eating way too much sugar in their diet anyway. You know, if you actually put them side by side, there's no comparison.
So what I say to people, Debbie, is when someone's saying, "Oh, look, your shake's got way too much sugar compared to my shake," and I explain that it's a meal. So I asked that question. So when you finish your workout, would you go home and sit down and have a plate piled up with just steak? Just steak. What would you do? Oh no, I'll have some steak and I'll have some vegetables and maybe some rice or sweet potato or potato. Absolutely. And so our shakes are like having a meal, and that's why there's sugar in there. It's
and the other thing actually that I've learned, a lot of people see the word fructose and they confuse it with fructose corn syrup, which is the filthy stuff that's in carbonated drinks and in a lot of processed foods. And this is not fructose.
No,
this is fructose that comes from.
It's a healthy vegetable and fruit fructose.
Yeah, absolutely right. I'm going to ask my last question before I open it out to the panel. And Mindy, I have paid for Zoom that does not cut off in 40 minutes, so panic not. Is isogenic sustainable? Because that's the biggie to me. I love it, the fact that once you've hit that target weight, you can sustain it. And sometimes that's a bit difficult to get across to people. So when people ask you that, how do you respond?
Well, I've seen it time and time again. And I've coached people that have never been able to maintain their weight loss. So they've tried all the diets, they've tried I won't name them but all the diets out there, they've tried, even liposuction, some people. But they'll put the weight back on. Yeah. And so people will come through and do the isogenics program, and I'll give you an example. So my ex-wife's mother, so she had tried everything to lose weight and even doing liposuction. She was 65, 66 when she first started the isogenics system. And she ended up losing 18 kilograms over 3 months. And then fast forward 6 years, she's been able to maintain it. And just by having one shake a day, so she just sticks to the 3 things: one shake a day, her ionics every morning, and then doing a cleanse day, maybe 1 or 2 cleanse days a month. And that's all she does. And then she might have some e-shots here and there and some other things. But she's been able to maintain her healthy weight for 6 years. Same with another big guy I coached, who was 176 kilograms. He was a big, big guy. And he ended up dropping 40 kg in his first 3 months and went on to lose 56. And he was a 100-pound club member. So for those of you who don't know what that means, so Isogenics has a recognition program for people that lose over 100 pounds. It's really cool. So he was a member, but the really amazing thing is he's maintained it. He was the big kid at school. He was picked on at school. And in his 30s, he was 176 kilograms, and he lost that weight, and he put a little bit back on, but he's maintained that healthy weight. He's put muscle back on, and now it's still for him 6 years. But I say for people that want a quick fix, isogenics is not a quick fix. It's not a diet. It's a way of life. And so for someone that comes on and does a 30-day and maybe loses a stone or so, if they go back to doing what they were doing and don't continue having a shake for breakfast and their ionics, they're likely to put that stone back on. Yeah, absolutely. Well, there you go, Craig. Some inspiration. We've got Craig Mackay on the phone. I'm sorry to pull you out, but he is. Hey, Craig. He's going to be our first 100-pound club
member of our UK team. He's doing well.
This is the Craig that I'm going to meet
This
tomorrow.
is the Craig who's in the bedroom.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, mate.
Oh, that's great, mate. I'm looking forward to it. So it's just it's maintenance, and it's like you can't expect to go to the gym for a month and get some results, and then stop going to the gym and keep those results.
Yeah.
It's a maintenance thing, and that's what I love about Isogenics is that it's a lifestyle. And just having our shake every morning or after our training session, having our ionics. So the shakes for the nutrition, the ionics to help our bodies manage, to help the stress, because our ionics is like our stress elixir. And then cleansing, maybe once a month. That's all it is for maintenance.
Yeah.
So absolutely sustainable.
Thank you. Well, I know that you have to go in about 5 minutes. So just quickly looking down the chat line.
I've got about 10 minutes.
We have got 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah. So do you want to can you see the chat, Scott? Do you want to just answer a few of those little questions on the right there?
Okay.
I think Louise is asking, going back to the business model.
David who? I'll write David Jilks, because look him up on Facebook. I think mainly Facebook for Dave, but he's amazing. I'm just going to write David Jilks there now. Okay,
no, that's great. I hadn't come across him. So Louise is asking, just going back to sort of your strategy of enrollment. I mean, this is a really good question, because this is where I'm struggling at the moment, to be brutally honest. All these fabulous enrollments, and then you get so busy trying to look after people and then bring new people in, and how do you keep in touch with them all? How do you manage that?
I keep a list, so I have got contact lists, and I'm always updating it. And so while I've got it in an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, me too.
And so everyone's on there, and then I know who's enrolled, I know who hasn't, and I continually follow people up. It was at least 9 follow-ups before I said yes. And so I understand that people aren't going to say no straight away. Mm. And so I'll keep following people up until they tell me to stop. And I've never really had anyone say stop. But it's all about being genuine. I think genuinely wanting to help people. And so when there's an opportunity that comes up to follow someone up, like let's say there's a free membership promotion or a 10% off promotion, or there's a new product launched, or maybe there's an article that just was released that maybe relate to a specific person, I'll reach out to them and tell them. So I use any of those promotions or any news articles as a way of following people up. Okay.
Cool. Okay.
And and I don't do it weekly. I just do it when the opportunity comes up. So if there's an opportunity to follow someone up, if that is like a new research article about weight loss, or if it was a price rejection for someone, if there's a 10% off, I'll reach out to them and let them know. Yeah.
Cool. And social media, you do use that as a backup as well, don't you?
Yeah, well, I'm finding these days that for me, social media it's changed a lot from when I first started. And I think Facebook's always changing. And now that you've got the algorithms that are limiting the amount of people that see what you're posting. So I've to be honest, I've really gone back to talking to people outside of social media. I've joined a networking group, which I go to every week. And I've...
Oh, you've disappeared. I was interested to hear what you were about to say. There you go.
Yeah, someone just called me and it just switched off. I joined a networking group, so I go and meet with business people every Tuesday morning. But I've gotten into now messaging people and either catching up for coffee or having a Zoom chat, a face-to-face chat, rather than sort of hiding behind Messenger or texting. And I'm having way more success now just by getting out and talking to people. I went through a phase where I was trying to do it all through social media, and I wasn't having enrollments, and I wasn't connecting properly with people. So when I first started Isogenics, I'd put a post up on Facebook and I'd get people responding, and I'd be enrolling people through that. But it's not happening like that anymore. So I think at Celebration over the weekend here in Birmingham, I think that's going to be a message, is that people want to have a conversation.
I think it's good for initiating a conversation. And as my success has come predominantly through friends with my sort of 200 odd enrollments. And now I'm doing much more social media and I'm getting people connecting. But obviously, because you don't have that rapport and they don't know, like, trust and all that, they're much more difficult to get over the line. So, but it's getting to that stage where you can then have a conversation and then you'll probably be able to clinch it. So I think it's so important being able to talk to people. That's where my success has come from one-to-one.
So Eric Warre says, Eric Warre is one of he's the number one trainer in the world in the network marketing profession. So he says that a phone call is 10 times more powerful than a message, a text or a Facebook message. A Zoom call face-to-face like this is 10 times more powerful than just a phone call. And a meeting face-to-face, belly-to-belly meeting with someone.
He's had another phone call. Just look at these other questions. You're a top athlete, is it not more?
Sorry, I just had that person trying to call me again. I've just sent them a quick
text. I've taken my phone off the hook, actually.
So it's, you sort of got to look at the numbers. Okay, what's going to be the most powerful way to spend my time? And that is face-to-face meetings. And it's not always, we've got a global organization, we've got a global business, but if you can't get face-to-face with someone, then Zoom is going to be the next best option. Yeah. Or if you can't do Zoom, then a phone call is going to be way more powerful than just sending someone a message, because they can feel your passion, they can feel your energy. But obviously, you might instigate that phone call through a message or a social media contact. But staying on Messenger is a trap. You need to take it off social media and get on the phone or get onto Zoom or go and meet someone face to face, and you'll have far more success rate than enrolling people.
I think that's very, very good advice. I want to talk to you about retention when we're in Birmingham, but there isn't time for that now. James has got a good question. James, do you want to unmute your mic and introduce yourself to Scotty, Mindy's husband, who is a triathlete?
Okay.
Hi, Scotty. Hi, how are you doing? Yeah.
Hey, good. Thank you, James.
I wish I were a triathlete. I'm just a cyclist. I haven't really got around to.
Oh, well, I've promoted you.
But yeah, I enjoy my cycling, and I'm not sure I'd really consider myself an athlete, but I'm probably training 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours a week. Now, I've done some very long distance endurance rides, and so I'm interested to hear a little bit more specifically about what a typical day might look like for somebody who's kind of on the cusp of normal everyday life, or sort of, an everyday athlete, not a national champion or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, I always say, because people at that level, they're probably already eating pretty well. Yeah. They could be eating 4 or 5 or 6 times a day. They could be having already one shake a day already. So I would just explain it. We're just going to incorporate 2 isogenic shakes into your daily routine. The most important one will be post-training. And the other most important one will be breakfast. If a person's training in the morning before breakfast, then we'll have that shake post-training in the morning. And then the second shake could be in the afternoon, or replacing one of the other meals through the day. And so it's not about meal replacements. It's just adding more in. And then with the other supplements, like the E shots and the hydrate and the ISOPRO, it's incorporating that other stuff in as well, plus the cleansing and ionics. But it's just, I always take a look at a person's daily routine. Like, let's say they're eating 5 meals a day. It's okay. We're gonna have one of our isogenic shakes post workout, and the other one, preferably breakfast, or at another time throughout the day, dinner time, afternoon. So they're still eating their good, clean meals each day, but incorporating 2 shakes.
So if you have regular meals at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and one of those might be a shake, then you've kind of got 2 extra eating opportunities, which could be a snack, and it could be a healthy snack, or it might not be quite so healthy as you might really want, just depending on what's available. So is your strategy to have kind of smaller meals to kind of supplement your main meals as those interim sort of food intake times?
Well, for me, I have most days I have 3 shakes a day and 3 meals. Some days I'll have 2 shakes, 3 meals, or 3 shakes, 2 meals. But I try most days to get in 3-3.
Right.
So I always have my shake in the morning for breakfast, and then I train at 9 a.m. and then I'll have another shake straight after, and then I'll have a meal at lunchtime as well, and then mid-afternoon I'll have another shake, and then dinner time I'll have a proper meal.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm really
You're careful.
He's consuming a lot of energy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But the shakes for me, the shakes they digest so far. Like if and this is the other thing too, James, that I didn't talk about before. It takes a lot of energy, and it takes a lot of time for the body to digest a full meal. If you're having a meal which has got some lean protein, carbohydrates, vegetables, fats, the body takes a lot of time to digest it. And if it's a meat protein, it's generally 4 hours. So you shouldn't be eating till 4 hours after a meal like that. But with the isogenic shakes, they're so bioavailable and they digest so fast in the body that you can be having a meal 2 hours later. So the shakes allow you to have more regular meals and less time in between, if that makes sense. And so I'll generally eat vegetarian all day and then have my meat at nighttime, so that I can make sure I'm having a meal every 2 hours or 2 to 3 hours. And then I have my main meal with meat and vegetables and fats at nighttime.
Cool. Scott, do you know Terry Ann, who's just put a comment out? I've just seen that she's on here. Her husband plays for, am I right in saying, is it Tonga or is it New Zealand?
No, I support New Zealand, but he plays for Tonga.
There she is. Yay.
In what? In rugby?
Yes. She's driving the car, so I'll have to jump in there.
We live over here in the UK. He plays over here in England, so hence why we're over here. But I was just saying in the chat box, his routine is very similar to yours. Yeah.
Terry, your mic is cutting out, but we'll meet. I'll introduce you to Scott over the weekend for sure, and you can have a
Yeah, and for anyone that's coming, I'd love to. If you've got any questions, come and say hi. I'll be around all weekend, but I am going to have to run in a second.
Yeah, you need to go.
Meeting at 5:30.
Well, Scott, I cannot thank you enough for your time. It's been an awesome call, and despite my initial nerves, I've really enjoyed that. And I think because of my nerves, I didn't listen to everything. So I'm hoping my recording has worked, so I can then listen to it again and learn from everything you've said. It's been absolutely fascinating. And on behalf of all of us, thanks for you guys jumping on. And Scotty, I will see you 5 o'clock.
See you tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yay!
And you did amazing, Deb. You're amazing.
Oh, God.
Well done.
Well, thank you, guys. We'll see you in Birmingham.
Thanks, guys.
See you in Brummy.
Thanks, guys. See you the weekend.
Thanks for jumping on.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Deb.
See you all.
See you, Helen. Is my mother still there? I think she's gone. Mum, are you still there? Did you enjoy that? Mindy, I'll see you in Birmingham. Lots of love. Mum, I'll phone you now.